Exodus chapter 16. And it says, and they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. So they came unto the wilderness of Sin. Ain't that something? It says, and the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. So they was up there murmuring, and they were so hungry. They thought it was better for them to stay where they was at least they had something to eat. Moses and them drove them way out there into the wilderness. Now they complaining. It says, then said the Lord unto Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you. And the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day. Amen. That I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or not. And it shall, so the Lord gave them out. He said, y'all go out there and gather a certain amount every day, and see if they will walk in my law or no. And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. Okay. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel at evening, that ye shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of the Lord, for that he heareth your murmurings against the Lord. And what are we, that ye murmur against us? And Moses said, this shall be, when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the food. So he said, in the evening time I'll give you some meat, but in the morning time I'm gonna give you your daily bread. Give you your daily bread in the morning, okay? To the full. For that the Lord heareth your murmurings, which ye murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. He said, what are we? We ain't but men. You don't murmur to us, you murmur to the Lord. And Moses spake unto Aaron, say unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurs of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at evening ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God. And it came to pass that at evening the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay around about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as a hoarfrost on the ground. So that makes sense. In the morning he gave them bread. Why? So they can go out and gather the rest of the food. Because if you had fed them meat in the morning, they'd have been full, fat, and happy. They wouldn't have no need to go and gather the bread. Go gather the manna. or go gather the quail later, they'd have been full, fat, and happy. That's like going to work on a full stomach. When you get to work, you be like, shit, I don't feel like working the rest of the day. I'm tired. I'm ready to go home and lay down. So what now? Hey, you get you a piece of bread, make you a sandwich, and have a nice day. Now you can finish work. You just tired you a little bit until you get home and eat dinner. It says, and the children of Israel saw it, and they said one to another, it is manna, for they wist not what it is. What it was. What it is and what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. They ain't know what it was. They were like, what is this? This is bread. Oh, okay. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, and omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Okay, take ye every man for them which are in his tent. So gather some bread for each one that's in the tent. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more and some less. And gathered some more, some less. And when they did meet, it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. So some gathered, a lot, some gathered, not a lot. But, all in all, they had enough. It says they gathered every man according to his eating. It says, and Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning. So they got enough to eat for the day. And make sure they had to eat it that day and not leave it over because it's spoiled. It said, notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning. So they said, all this bread, I can't possibly eat all this. Well, they should have gave it away to somebody who was still hungry. But dog, they try to preserve it. Well, I'm just gonna wrap this up and save it for later. Basically. It says, and it bred worms and stank. And Moses was wroth with them. So they sat up there trying to hold on to that little bread. So they had to go run out there and go get no more the next morning. That's why I just take a little bit and I'm gonna put it up. So I ain't got to go out there and go gather no more bread. I got some left over yesterday. Bread sat there and got worms on it and everything, stinking. And Moses was angry at them. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. So they had to hurry up for the sun melted. And it came to pass that they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, this is which the Lord hath said, tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and see that ye will seethe. And that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. So they on the day before the Sabbath day, they got 2 per person, and they baked it. They baked it and seethed it, and kept it for the Sabbath day, so they wouldn't have to go out and go gather no more manna. They had enough to eat for the Sabbath. It says, and they laid it up till morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. And Moses said, eat that today, For today is a Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. It's a day of rest. You better go ahead and cook what you're going to cook the day before, so you can go sit down and eat somewhere on Saturday. On Saturday, you're supposed to sit down and eat and enjoy the Sabbath day of the Lord, the day of rest. Go out there buying food and all this stuff. No, not from the evening, Friday evening to Saturday evening. And it says, 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. Okay? And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that the Lord have given you the Sabbath. Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. When do you get paid? When do most people get paid? On Friday. Why? So hey, you can go and get your groceries, go pay your bills, and do all you got to do on Friday. So Saturday you get someone to sit down. But nah, yeah, people run around there trying to look for food on the Sabbath day, the day they supposed to have been sat down somewhere. It says, abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna. And it was like coriander seed, white. And the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. Sound pretty good. It says, and Moses said, this is the thing which the Lord commanded. Fill an omar, in a basket of it to be kept for your generations. Fill omar. To be kept for generations. That they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt. And Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot, and put an omar full of manna therein, and lay it up before the Lord, to keep for your generations, to be kept for your generations. As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony, to be kept. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years, until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omar is the 10th part of an ephah. It says the people, chapter 17. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin, after their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses, and said, give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, why chide ye with me? Wherefore do you tempt the Lord? You begging me for what I ask God. A little faith. Lord and gave you manna, Lord and gave you quail, but you ain't asking me. You better go ask it of the Lord. Chime with me like I'm your God. That's what he said. What you do, tempt the Lord? It says, and the people thirsted there for water. And the people murmured against Moses, and said, wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt, to kill us, and our children, and our cattle with thirst? You know, the first time they said, when she brought us up out of land, he used to kill us not children with hunger. Now they talking about thirst. It's like, yeah. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, what shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. I said, Lord, what I'm going to do with these people? They about ready to stone me by some water. And the Lord said unto Moses, go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, and thy rod, wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thine hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock of Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. And he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because of the chiding, we call it Massah and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, is the Lord among us or not? Now you could just, you could just imagine all these Negroes out there, all these tribes of Israel out there. Is the Lord with us or not? We out here hunger for food. We out here hunger for water. Is the Lord with us or not? They ain't even believe. They faith was so low. Not all of them, just majority of them. It says, then came Amalek and fought with Israel and Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men, and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said unto him, and he fought with Amalek. And Moses and Aaron and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. And they were giving them a sport, I guess. But Moses' hands were heavy. And they took a stone and put it under him. And he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands. And the other and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side and the other on the other side. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it to the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. For he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Jehovah Nissi. Exodus chapter 18. Finish that up, and then that should put us. Yeah. All right. Exodus chapter 18. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, and that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, and her two sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom. For he said, I have being an alien in a strange land. And the name of the other was Elijah. For the God of my father said he was mine help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of God. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife, and her 2 sons with her. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare. And they came into the tent. So he went out to greet them and asked them how they was doing and all that. And then they went and sat down in the tent so they could talk. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how the Lord delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which the Lord had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who have delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who have delivered the people from under the hands of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods. For in the thing wherein they dwelt proudly, he was above them. He said, now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods. For in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God. And Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses, father-in-law, before God. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people. And the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from the morning unto evening? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me to inquire of God. And when they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another. And I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away, both thou and this people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. It's too heavy. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. So he said, This things you're doing is not good, because these people, though they come to inquire of the Lord, it's like they come and inquire you of the Lord, and putting you, always coming to you instead of coming to God. Instead of them seeking the Lord and ask the Lord to give them water and give them food and teach them his way, they come to Moses, which will cause Moses to be put up on a pedestal. And God, jealous God. Put no man on no pedestal before the Lord. I'm saying it's the same with like the pastors today. All these people go run up there and give all their money and tithes these men who are just wolves in sheep clothing. And they get up on their stages, big old stadiums and pool pits, and everybody go run and ask them to inquire of the Lord through him. Instead of having faith and going home and walking the walk of faith and being an evangelist themselves, learning of God and asking God. They go worship the man on stage. It says, and Moses' father-in-law said unto him, this thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away both thou and this people that is with thee. But this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk. That's key. He said you will teach them the ordinances and the laws. You know, don't have them keep just coming to you and asking them, can I do this? Can I do that? What does the Lord say about this? What does the Lord say about that? No, teach them the laws and the ordinances so they can learn for themselves. They ain't got to come ask you no more about nothing. They need to go find out for themselves. It says, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. See? They must walk and the work that they must do. They got to go do their own work of the Lord. You know, you can't get to heaven on my footstool. You can't get to heaven by my works. You got to learn how you must walk before the Lord and go do the work of the Lord yourself. It says, moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, having covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. So you should take the able-bodied men that fear God, and teach them the way so they can go out and teach the others and rule over them. Because it's too much for one man to bear the yoke of the Lord. Though his burden is light and his yoke is. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure. And all this people shall also go to their place in peace. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel, not able women. He ain't charged no able women to go out and judge and rule the people that was under Moses, like we do in the church. He chose the able men to do that, so that he can, so that he can endure. And so all this people shall also go to their place in peace. All right. So it says, so Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. Moses chose able men out of all of Israel and made them heads over the people. Not out the land of Canaan, not out the land of Egypt, not out the lands of the Gentiles, but out the land of Israel. And made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land.